Her hand shook as she grabbed mine. "Grandpa, you have to leave, now." There was no tremble in her voice, just fear wrapped tight in urgency. I glanced around the room, clinking glasses, hollow laughter, my son laughing too loud in the center of it all. 45 and beaming, a king in a stolen kingdom. "Why?" I asked. She looked over her shoulder toward the hallway, then back at me. "Please," she whispered, "just go." So I left. I didn't ask again. I trusted her, and that decision saved my life. I raised that boy with calloused hands and bleeding knuckles, built a logistics empire from the back of a rusted truck. His mother, God rest her, died before he turned 7. He was all I had. I gave him everything, the company, my legacy, even my name. But I failed to see what I was raising. He was 28 when he met her. Kara, ruthless in heels, smiled like a queen but watched people like a predator. She leaned into him early, whispered ideas of independence, told him I was holding him back. Within a year, my son asked me to step down. Said I was too old to adapt, that it was time for new blood. It wasn't a request. The board, half of them his friends now, voted me out. No warning, no thank you, just a final meeting with catered coffee and carefully worded condolences. I didn't scream, didn't fight, didn't beg. I smiled, shook hands, and walked out of the building I had built brick by brick. Let them think they won. But something inside me stayed awake. I knew my son, and I knew ambition without restraint is a slow poison. So I kept one eye open. I retained one person, Elsa, my old accountant, quiet, loyal, invisible. I paid her well to keep tabs, to watch the money. And for a while, there was nothing, until 6 months ago. A vendor invoice came in under a name I recognized, a shell company I dissolved years ago. Only it was active again, and it was bleeding funds from the core accounts. Elsa dug deeper, layer after layer of fake contracts, mirrored payments, kickbacks traced back to a Cayman account. Guess whose names were on the offshore signatures? Kara's. And my son's. They weren't just stealing, they were laundering from the company I built. The irony? They'd used some of the same tactics I once taught my son to avoid, except this time it was intentional, calculated, criminal. I could have gone to the press, could have leaked it, but I wanted more. I wanted him to watch it crumble from the inside. So I made a plan. First, I collected everything: bank trails, dates, digital logs, printouts. I made it idiot-proof. Then I reached out to an old contact in financial crimes. He owed me a favor. I told him, wait, not yet. I wanted them to feel safe, untouchable, and then I wanted it all to fall. Tonight was supposed to be the fall. My granddaughter, 12 years old and too smart for her own good, invited me personally. Said it wouldn't be the same without me. I hadn't seen her since the takeover, but I showed up, dressed in the same suit they buried my name in. The room was full of wolves. Kara kissed me on the cheek like we hadn't tried to destroy each other. My son gave a speech thanking the generations that came before us. I smiled, waited. At 8:45 p.m., federal agents were scheduled to arrive. Quietly, no spectacle, just quiet precision. But at 8:32, my granddaughter tugged my sleeve. And I saw it. One of the waiters wasn't a waiter. He reached into his pocket, too early. My son knew. Somehow he knew. Maybe someone tipped him off. Maybe Kara suspected. Doesn't matter. They had a backup plan, and I was part of it. I slipped out the side gate just as a black SUV pulled up in front. My contact texted me 2 words. They're running. The SUV was supposed to be mine. Not a car service, not security. An accident. They would have buried me, claimed grief, redirected blame, and vanished with their millions. But my granddaughter, She saw the suitcase in the hallway. She heard Kara whispering about cleaning up loose ends. She warned me. 12 years old and already knew when something was wrong. That's the only reason I'm still breathing. After that night, things moved fast. Feds raided the house 2 days later. My son and Kara were already in Panama. Didn't matter. I had filed everything 2 weeks before. Freezing orders, international warrants, asset seizures. Their accounts are locked, their passports flagged. The world got very small, very fast. Kara was caught at a private airstrip in Lisbon. My son, he made it to Istanbul. He called me, first time in years. "You did this," he said. I didn't answer. There was a long pause. "You were supposed to be my father." I finally spoke. I was. Click. I visit my granddaughter every Saturday now. She doesn't ask about her dad. She just sits beside me on the porch and asks questions about business, about loyalty, about pride.